Hey, this is Strong by Choice, and we're here with Yaneli, and we really just appreciate you coming out and doing a photo shoot, but also really would love to hear what Strong by Choice means to you. Like, what's your story?
Yeah, that's a good question. I remember a year ago when we first met. I think we met at like a affinity group meeting at the yard or something like that. And then one of our colleagues was like, she has a clothing brand, Strong by Choice. And then we started talking about that, like weightlifting and bodybuilding and all of that. But then whenever I see your page or like your stories, I'm just always like, what does Strong by Choice mean? And it's like, I always think to my childhood, you know, coming from a family that's first generation. My mom, she was a single mom until I was 6 years old. So it's a story I share about myself because that's what defines who I am, but also having to be strong since a little kid. You know, because mom didn't have anyone. I literally had to become an adult at the age of 5, caring for my mom, being for, and as life goes on, it's like you always have to be strong. You're the first one in America to be born, where it's just like you're the first one of a minority, and like realizing like all of these like different like generational curses and traumas and everything that you have to break. And so it's what makes us strong, and we come strong by choice, and I always reflect on that, and I always just like, I'm like a deep thinker, and I always think of that.
I love hearing that you're a deep thinker. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, I feel like most people are like, wow. And it's like, it goes deep.
It does. There's just so many things that can go deep. It's just like, being first generation or as minorities, it's like we go through so much. We have to be strong, especially like this day and age where it's like we have so many resources at our hands, but it's like, how do we take this? But the first thing that always comes to mind is like, you have to be strong to face the outside world, And so I always think of that, and it's like, right now in my life, I mean, like the last 2 years, everybody went through it. The pandemic. We're still in a pandemic? Question mark.
Don't need to wear a mask though at this point. It's not mandated. We will say that in case somebody comes back and it's like, timeline on this video.
Yeah. It's like we've all gone through so much, and we all have our personal stories. But my personal story is like, I've had to be the strong one for my mom and my dad. So it's like I had to remain strong for my mom and my dad because they were going through it. They're emotional when they heard the news of what they were going through. Sorry, I'm being vague. And then I was also like going through a university on Zoom online. It's like you already have to be strong on that. Working through a tough like mental health journey, you have to be strong by that. But on top of that, being strong for my mom and my dad, being strong